Hello and welcome to another edition of the Gavel, coming to you from Channels Television Studios in Abuja. I'm Terry Ikumi. Now, members of the House of Representatives on Monday reconvened for an emergency plenary session to amend the 2025 Appropriation Act. The process was quickly considered as the repeal and reenactment bill scaled first, second, and third reading in a matter of minutes.
The Appropriation Repeal and Enactment Act 2025 to extend the implementation of the capital aspect of the Appropriation Act 2025 from 30 June to 30 September 2026. This report is comprised of three clauses, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. So with your kind permission, we go ahead and take clause by clause. Are we ready? Clause 1, carried. Clause 2, carried. Clause 3, carried. Explanatory memorandum and the long title of the bill, carried. Bichi, carried. Are we carrying Bichi too?
The House, just like the Senate, has now extended the capital aspect of the Appropriation Act 2025 from the 30th of June 2026 to the 30th of September 2026. And this is the third adjustment to the 2025 Appropriations Act, which should have elapsed on the 31st of December 2025. Subsequently, plenaries adjourned till the 7th of July, when a new legislative year is to commence. Meanwhile, away from the chamber, the House Committee on Defense held a public hearing on 5 bills considered critical to the country's growing security concerns. The public hearing on the 5 defense bills comes on the heels of the State Police Constitution Amendment Bill passed by the House. Lawmakers believe that these legislations will go a long way to address the country's insecurity issues. The Speaker of the House was personally present to emphasize the importance of the bills.
Fellow Nigerians, we cannot pretend that our nation is at ease. From the relentless insurgency in the Northeast to the scourge of banditry and kidnapping in the Northwest, the farmer herder crisis in the North Central, the separatist agitations in the Southeast, our armed forces are stretched, yet they remain our first and last line of defense. Let me state clearly, the security challenges we face today demand bold, fresh thinking. The old ways have not fully worked. We must now open to legislative innovations. I would like to therefore call on all stakeholders, serving and retired military personnel, civil society organizations, gender experts, veterans, lawyers, and ordinary citizens to participate actively. Share your memorandum, speak your truth, critique where necessary, and propose solutions. Do not hold back because you think your voice does not matter. It truly does. Do not stay away because you fear your submission will be ignored. I give you my word, every memorandum will be read, every oral presentation will be noted, and all relevant contributions will be considered, and where applicable, incorporated into the final reports and the bills. This is our legacy. This is our legacy as the People's Assembly. Let me also assure you that this committee, under the leadership of its chairman, Honorable Babojimi Benson, will conduct these proceedings with the utmost transparency and fairness. We are not here to defend any interest or hidden agenda. We are here to serve the Nigerian people and to produce legislation that will make our armed forces more professional, more accountable, more gender sensitive, and more effective in protecting lives and property.
On behalf of the Committee on Defense and the House of Representatives, I hereby sincerely thank you for honoring our invitation and for demonstrating your commitment to to the security, stability, progress of our great nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today's gathering is more than a legislative formality. The bills before us today address several critical aspects of national defense, including military education and professional development, joint operations effectiveness, medical training and healthcare support, strategic research and doctrine development, veterans welfare, military governance reforms, food security initiatives, and greater inclusiveness within the armed forces. Collectively, these proposals represent an important effort to build a stronger, more professional, innovative, and future-ready institution. I therefore encourage all stakeholders present to participate actively and constructively in this deliberation. Whether through oral presentation or written memoranda, your contributions will help ensure that these bills are strengthened and refined in national interest. I assure you that every submission received will be carefully considered by the committee. Permit me to also acknowledge the immense sacrifices of the men and women of the armed forces of Nigeria who continue to serve our nation with courage, professionalism, and dedication, often under extreme difficult conditions. This service underscores the importance of ensuring that our laws provide the institutional support necessary for them to carry out their constitutional responsibilities effectively. As we commence this public hearing, let us be guided by patriotism, objectivity, and a shared commitment to the security and prosperity of Nigeria.
Contributions to the bills were then received from participants.
They had asked me to appreciate this committee for the good work they are doing, considering the number of bills that have been put together. Just to give this other information to the committee, and that he had put together a team in the Ministry of Defense. We are looking at all the proposed bills, and that a memorandum will be submitted to the committee very soon.
I stand before you today to present the Armed Forces Act Amendment Bill 2024, a vital piece of legislation aimed at fostering inclusivity and gender equality within our esteemed armed forces. This bill is not just a legal framework. It is a commitment to ensuring that our military reflects the diversity of our nation and harness the full potential of all citizens. The proposed amendment to Section 3 and Section 7 of the Armed Forces Act, CAP 820 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, are designed to address the pressing need of increased female representation in our military by mandating a minimum of 15% representation of women in the enlistment, recruitment, and appointment of service personnel. Minimum means that is the minimum. It can be more. We are taking a significant step towards breaking down barriers that have taken significant steps towards breaking down barriers that have historically limited women's participation in the armed forces. We are talking about qualified women. We are not just saying we should put women there. Women with passion, with capacity, with capability, and those that have all it takes to serve the best interest of Nigerians. This bill also seeks to establish a comprehensive gender-responsive compliance program that will guide our armed forces in creating an environment where all personnel, regardless of gender, can thrive.
Sir, the Veterans Federation of Nigeria, as the bill is being called, has been a clamor since 2018. It was initiated by General Olani Sakin, the then Chief of Defense Staff, in 2018 and 2019. The essence of that was to harmonize the infiltration of Veterans Association, because as of that time we have 14 registered Veterans Association, and he thought it wise that the best that can happen is to harmonize this Veterans Association into one, so that there should be an umbrella that will coordinate and then coordinate the activities of veterans in Nigeria. So he called for a 3-day conference in 2018. All veteran association and representatives were there for 3 days. In 2019, he did the same thing, called again and we all went, and that was where the VFN was born. He said international best practice is on Veterans Federation of Nigeria, not Legion. Legion is an obsolete body that does not exist anywhere. Where the Legion does exist, it exists as an association, not a government, National Assembly enacted body. It's only in Nigeria that Nigerian Legion has the backing of National Assembly. That is an act, a bill for an act was sent and established, and Legion was established. Across the world, Legion is just an association. Veterans Federation is the act. Veterans Federation is the need. Veterans Federation is what is in vogue across the globe, all over the world. We have a bill which we are willing to contribute for the debate or for your consideration, which I'm sure we've already distributed across.
Elsewhere, the House of Representatives Committee on Legislative Library, Research and Documentation has directed petitioners accusing the Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Professor Suleiman Abubakar, of participating in a governorship primary election without resigning his appointment, to provide evidence to support their allegations. Chairman of the committee, Representative Yusuf Galambi, gave the directive during an investigative hearing in Abuja, where he insisted that the committee could not proceed with the investigation due to insufficient documentary evidence presented by the petitioners.
For the DG to be here or not will not stop the committee from taking a decision, as far as the petitioners will convince beyond reasonable doubt that Professor Abubakar Suleiman has participated. We cannot accept just as you said, public domain or whatever it is. But this is not enough. You have to prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. So whether the DG is here or not will not stop us from taking a decision on what to do as far as you can prove your case. And from what I can see, it's like the petition you forwarded is not backed with enough evidence to prove your case. Do we give you another time to come with full and supporting evidence to defend this petition? Whenever you are ready, the documents are ready. You can send the documents to us.
Welcome back to the Gavel. The Department of State Services is supporting a bill seeking to establish a trust fund for the service, but is also asking the House of Representatives Committee to amend several provisions, including the removal of foreign funding sources, clearer funding mechanisms, and changes to the composition of the proposed governing board. The service is concerned that a separate bill is seeking to establish a Strategic Intelligence Management Institute which could duplicate the functions of an existing institution unless its mandate is redefined to focus exclusively on external intelligence. The DSS, through its representative Emmanuel Dobry, made the presentation at a public hearing organized by the House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence on Thursday in Abuja. On funding, the service expressed concern over provisions giving the National Assembly discretion to determine annual contributions to the fund, saying this could create uncertainty in financing, and argued that the bill did not clearly define contributions expected from the federal and state governments.
Our mandate is to gather views, data, and expert opinion from stakeholders, civil society, security experts, and public on three critical bills currently before this committee. The bills before us seek to strengthen the funding, build professional capacity, and enhance indigenous research capacity within our premier domestic security agency.
The area that has to do with foreign cooperation, there's a vulnerability in that. I don't think we should receive funding from outside the country. it's a serious vulnerability. Of course, when they fund you, they want to know how you spend the money and what you spend the money on. We shouldn't disclose what we are doing because threats can come from anywhere.
Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Public Accounts has cleared the Nigeria Customs Service of allegations that it failed to remit 62.2 billion naira into the Federation account, as contained in the 2019 audit report of the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. The committee reached a decision following an investigative session with the Comptroller General of Customs, Mr. Bashir Adiniyi, over 77 audit queries raised against the agency in the 2019 and 2020 audit reports. Now, the committee, however, resolved to establish an ad hoc reconciliation panel to review the remaining 76 audit queries and report back for further consideration. And at the hearing, representatives of the Auditor General's Office informed lawmakers that while the Customs Service generated more than 691 billion naira in revenue in 2017, only about 629 billion naira was remitted to the Federation account, leaving an outstanding balance of 62.2 billion naira. In his response, the Customs CG, Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, explained that the amount in question consisted of levies collected on behalf of other government agencies.
Different levies that are collected by Nigeria Customs Service on behalf of some other agencies of government as part of fiscal policy. For example, levies collected to encourage local production of wheat, the same thing with brown rice, the same thing with textile, the same thing with textile and wine. These are not normally remitted into Federation accounts. They are declared as revenue because we collected them as revenue. I must say that since I became Comptroller General of Customs, I have found the Public Accounts Committee a necessary oversight committee of the National Assembly that must hold us to account on everything we do.
We will set up a small team to sit with you in the next few days, and you should cooperate, as you said, so that once and for all we should dispense with 2017, 18, 19, 2020, as soon as possible.
Well, it's time now for Constituency Focus.
When we came naturally, most of what we are doing, it is on 2 parts or 3 parts: legislation, representation, and oversight. People are more focused on the representation. What are you taking back home to the people to do the constituency project and some project which you will mobilize to your constituency? Maybe I will focus on that one. Although we have achieved a lot in lawmaking, my presentation, bills, motions, contribution in the flow of the Senate, it is very clear, and we have so many things to say about that one. But now I will focus on representation, where we mobilize or we facilitated so many things through our budget and outside the budget. I will focus on some our achievement which is outside of the budget, which is very, very abnormal. It is through your effort. Last year, myself and my brother from the house, we happened to be member from my constituency, Honorable Kabiru Rurum. We met Mr. President and we discussed a lot with Mr. President. We met him with so many requests to do with our challenges in our constituency. Our main focus is our irrigation scheme, which is there for almost 50 years. And we have 3 dams, major dams in Kano. The last one is constructed by IBB administration, almost 32 years, and is abundant, is underutilized. Therefore, we met Mr. President, we push our case, and Mr. President willingly approved some money to us through Ecology Office to go and reactivate, rehabilitate, and reconstruct some of the irrigation scheme or the irrigation scheme of Kano South Senatorial District. And when we met with the Hadejama Area Ecology Office and some experts, and of course the representative of the people, we agreed to approach the challenge in 4 ways. First, we look at the irrigation equipment, irrigation and farming equipment to our farmers, which will help them to produce more and to carry their finished product, one angle, and to provide a quick solution to our challenge, our irrigation scheme. Therefore, we came with an idea of digging tube wells. It is just 10 to 15 to 20 meter down. We provided almost 5,500 different tube wells in the senatorial district, and we provide pump machine to the farmers. At least 5,500 farms are benefiting from this initiative, and there are some equipment, motorcycle, a tricycle, and some farming and irrigation equipment, which is there. You can see it by yourself in the phase 1 of the project. Then we have a serious challenge of rural roads, drainages, bridges, and of course erosion challenges in the senatorial district. Therefore, we embark on massive construction of rural roads, drainages, erosion control, and so you can go there and see it by yourself. Then rural water supply is another challenge, which for now we have provided almost 500 units of hand pump. Almost 500. We have finished almost 350, and we are continue to almost 500 in the rural water supply. We have already achieved almost 75% there. Then the main irrigation scheme, rehabilitation and reactivating of our 3 dams, Kapunchuri, Tiga, and Chalawa Goje. They are working day in, day out. We are opening new sectors, almost 50,000 hectares now is under construction, just to boost the agricultural and irrigation in the area, which by the grace of God, it will change, or it will add value to food production in Kano vis-a-vis in northern Nigeria. This is what we are doing, and this is what we are committed to do. I am very delighted and happy, and we appreciate Mr. President of doing so. Technically, we are fighting insecurity in our own area through creating a job. If people are committed, if people are employed, if they have means of living, nobody will go and start creating unfavorable condition to the people. Therefore, you can see everywhere now is green. That is the reason why we say Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is Audu Bako of our time. Audu Bako is our pioneer, premier governor of Kano State from 1967 to almost 1975. He almost turned Kano into an irrigation state. Now, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with what we achieved now, we can say he's a second in Kano South Senatorial District. And we are really, really happy, and we are hoping that the people will use this opportunity to make Kano and of course northern Nigeria great in provision of food to Nigeria.
And that's all the time we have on the Gavel. Thanks for watching. Do well to send feedback to the Gavel at channelstv.com. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.